Hello, everybody, and happy Friday to all of you. This is The Scoop on WSIC. And I came in here completely unprepared. I've been telling Dan.
Jamie, unprepared? No.
Y'all know, usually I like bring in my laptop. I've got everything like scripted.
You don't even have a piece of paper today.
I don't have a thing. So I told Dan he was going to have to take over today. But thankfully, we have a couple of guests with us that I'm excited to introduce. And it just so happens, we didn't plan it this way, but it just so happens that their worlds collided at one point. And so it should be interesting to talk about everything that they have done. I'm excited about it because Operation Helo, Dan has mentioned it before in the show, and I know how like that he's been involved with it, but I know very little, and so I'm really anxious to learn more. I joke that this is whenever I found out that Firewire Dan had a heart.
As I said last time, a little.
What did you say on the way here? He was about to let somebody out in traffic, and then they didn't move fast enough, and he's like, I'm trying to be the nice guy.
I'm trying to be the nice guy. Yeah.
For like I was like, that was like 2 seconds. Anyway, my special guest is Rodney James, the president of Lodge Number 10, Iredell County Fraternal Order of Police. And we were just chatting about how long we've known each other. I grew up in Statesville, and he lived near my aunt, uncle, and my cousins. And so we go super duper way back. Yes. But obviously through my work, we've worked closely together, and I'm going to brag on y'all for a second. This is Rodney. This is the Sean Greens. Y'all's lodge is, I can't wait to get into more of what y'all do. But let me tell you guys, there was one time, and they had no reason to be there for me at all. I'm not a member. I'm not law enforcement. But there was a moment that I needed friends, and in my professional life, and I went into a town board meeting, and I turn around and look over my left shoulder, and I see probably 10 of you guys sitting there with your your shirts on, and I was like, and you winked and smiled, and I was like,
we got it.
Thank God. Like, and I felt okay. So. And we've worked together on some Thanksgiving stuff, the farmers market. So we're going to dive into all of it. But plug to you, huge shout out to you guys. You know I adore you and everything that you do. But you are here for a reason to talk about something you guys are doing. So take it away. What are you doing?
Well, October 13th, we're having I think this is the 4th year of our Back to Blue golf tournament. So we started with a small dream to see if it would work. And as every year goes by, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Which is what you hope, right?
Well, that's what you always want, of course. I'm not a golf guy. I don't play golf. I'm more of a contact sport.
You drive the golf carts?
No, I just sit there and smile. Not much smiling, but I sit there. Anyway, so we were struggling to fill our teams when we first started. Now we fill them quick, and people call afterwards, say, hey, we want in. Well, we don't have room.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So our golf teams filled up last month.
So you're already full.
We are full. Yes. We have some big sponsors. We have a couple corporate sponsors. SHA has always supported us from day one, and Troutman. They're one of our corporate sponsors. Charlie could tell you more about all the corporate sponsors, but I know we get a lot of help from our community. Local business owners. They're donating whatever they can. And then, of course, you roll over into the political side. And, of course, you've got those guys, which they're all friends of our lodge, too. So the more, the merrier.
So what's the ultimate goal? What are we raising?
We have just recently started a foundation. We have the FOP, but now we have the FOP Lodge 10 Foundation.
Okay.
That foundation is more set up into community, to helping the community, our Shop with a Cop, our scholarships we give, officers in need of help, anybody in the community in need of help. So we rolled all that over from the FOP into our foundation now. And I mean, just a little bit of it. Our Shop with a Cop program usually is $20,000 to when we do our Cops and Kids program.
Is that the Christmas one that
Yes,
I've
sir.
covered before?
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, you've been out there.
Yeah.
Last year was our biggest year ever. I think we had 110 kids.
Wow.
So
Is that from all over Iredell or?
yeah, so how we get our kids is I'm sending out letters. They'll go out Monday, and I send one to each counselor at school and each principal, and they respond back, and then I vet all of them because we're not looking for the kids that's already inundated in the system.
Yep.
We're looking for those kids that maybe mom and dad had a bad accident. They
Mhm.
lost one of their parents.
Mhm.
Circumstances like that. That's what we're looking for. And once I vet them all, then we take them shopping. The shopping is part of it, but I'm going to give a shout out to our lodge members.
Of course.
Especially our associate side of our lodge. They give us all our toys. We don't buy toys. We figured out 10 years ago, if we send these kids back to school with new clothes, new apparel, stuff like that, it cuts down on the bullying.
Mm.
So we shifted most of our gears, over to clothes, essential personal items, things like that. Well, then we don't have toys. So we ask our membership. So we have a 14-foot trailer, and they fill it from front to rear with toys. And then, of course, the Marine League, they give us bikes. And then Marcy at Stitch 98, who does all of our stuff,
Mhm.
Yep. You've
She
done some
buys
shirts for me.
she buys each one of those kids a winter coat. So they don't have to spend
Oh.
their money on a winter coat. So she buys all that for them. So it turns out to be a great thing. And some of our Thanksgiving families we help roll over to our Christmas. So,
Okay.
And that is something that I want to get into next. And then we're going to segue that into some of the work that you guys did for the hurricane relief, and then we're going to run over to you two. So we are going to go ahead and shut down this segment and then come back and talk a little more with Rodney. This is The Scoop on WSIC. We're back on WSIC's The Scoop. And we're going to wrap up here shortly with Rodney James, the president of Iredell County's FOP Lodge 10. But I wanted to get into a little bit about other things that you guys do. With the golf tournament is coming up, but you were just talking like you guys are busy in the community.
Hammered. We are hammered from here to mid-January.
So I happen to know, because back in the day, whenever I would go up to the mountains for Thanksgiving, I stopped by Statesville and picked up a Boston butt
Right.
that the FOP made, and it was freaking fabulous. So that's coming up.
That is. So we are now taking orders for our Boston butt. So I'll get into
Guys,
tell
you
you
want
how
to
that-
order one of these, I promise.
So I guess this has been going on 12, 13, 14 years. We team with Our Father's Table, which is a ministry group. They're sort of attached to us, but it's two different entities.
Mhm.
And so we team with those guys, and we cook Boston butts. I think we're cooking 320 this year.
It's insane.
And so we sell all of those, and we roll that money over to feeding at Thanksgiving. So every first responder in Iredell County that is working that day will get the meal they deserve like everybody else.
That's incredible. Do you guys deliver them?
Oh, we deliver, yes. So we'll take orders for the butts. We sell all the butts. I start on Sunday of the week of Thanksgiving.
I was going to say, if I
Yes.
remember correctly, you don't sleep.
No. I start on Sunday, me and a couple other guys, and I go home Thanksgiving Day. Well, I don't go home. I go to my mom's and take over her recliner at about 12 o'clock on Thanksgiving Day. So, yeah, I see my family when they come up and see me. Besides that, I don't see them.
So you're feeding all law enforcement for every agency?
Not only law enforcement, all first responders.
Yeah, then all the fire departments
We
and
do.
EMS?
We do police, fire, communications, and EMS.
And you work with other, because I know Josh's Farmers Market the past couple of years,
Right.
you've been like, hey, see if they'll.
We try to look for donations to cut down on costs, knowing what we're doing. Josh has been grateful in helping us.
For potatoes.
500 pounds of potatoes we cook. And we cook everything. The only thing that we do not cook is the rolls and the pies. So at Thanksgiving, they get a turkey, they get corn, potatoes, mac and cheese, and green beans, rolls, and a pie. And that goes out. But now if it's a police department with, more people, of course, we double up on a lot of that stuff. But we can cook 91 turkeys at a time.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's
How do you, what do you cook? How are you cooking them?
we cook them on our grills. We smoke
same
them.
as the Boston butts?
Yes, we smoke them.
Okay.
And with our apple juice and, stuff. And they come out just.
So you start, okay, so help me understand.
Yeah.
You do the Boston butts to raise money for Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So but you're cooking non-freaking stop. You
Yeah.
got the Boston butts, and as soon as that's over, you've raised money and you start with.
We clean the grills and we start over.
Oh.
Now, with the cleaning of the grills, we have been very fortunate with West Iredell ROTC.
Mhm.
Reggie Hooker and I are friends, and he's friends of our group. He brings his cadets down there, and they clean all of our grills for us. And, of course, we do a little donation back to the ROTC for their help, which helps Reggie and them. And it has been a phenomenal group of people. Our associate members come in and help us. Some of our active member comes in and help us. And then our Father's Table. But it's an undertaking. It's controlled chaos the morning of Thanksgiving with packing all that up, putting it in containers, putting it in boxes.
Can't imagine.
And then my group comes in and delivers. So my associate members, they'll start coming in and grabbing boxes and delivering out to homes.
That's
and
amazing.
to police departments, fire, rescue, e-com, everything. So it's an undertaking. And
So
then
are
we
you doing
usually clean up.
Are you doing the town of Mooresville fire stations and the city, or does
No, we do all of
you
them.
do it all?
We do it all.
So all the volley departments and everything? Okay.
We try to, if they need it, we try to provide it.
Gotcha.
I think that's incredible because I mean, you're missing, to serve the public. You're missing quality time with your family.
I miss a trip every year to Kentucky to do this. And, but it's more than just me, it's the, look, everybody sitting in this room is fortunate one way or another. You're fortunate.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the way I was taught growing up is you give that back.
That's right.
And if you don't give it back, what are you doing with it? You're
Speaking of giving back, to kind of
Good
segue.
segue.
Yeah. Yeah. You guys did a lot of work for the hurricane relief in Marion, right?
I was on the ground the night it hit. Our state president, Chef Edler from Marion, he's our state president. He called and said, "Hey, it might get bad up here. You think you could help me out?" I said, "Need a couple hours to get some stuff together and we'll be on our way." So it started with that. We took a couple of our big grills up there. I took 3 guys with me.
I love that you guys are just like,
Yeah.
grab a grill and let's
Ready
go.
to cook.
Let's cook.
We get it done. I mean, I grabbed 3 of my guys. We hauled everything we could up. We hauled 2 cookers and an enclosed trailer loaded. You couldn't have got no more on it. And we cooked 3 meals a day on that for the first 2 days.
Wow.
Then feed over to Highway Patrol, First Sergeant Bobby Lineberger. I don't know if you guys know him.
Dan apparently does. I do not.
Me and Bobby go way back. He was up there picking up somebody to get them back to Iredell, and he said, he calls me Cuz, and he said, "Hey, Cuz, if I could get the highway patrol trailer up here, will you man it, take it over, and run it?" I said, "Sure." I'm not gonna say no. So when they brought the trailer up, it just like things exploded from that point on. We tried to tally it up. I think over 22 days, we fed over 16,000 meals.
Holy cow.
We fixed breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
And
every
this
day.
was for workers. It was also
It
for
was for
community, anybody who needed it.
I have never, ever at a disaster turned away a human being.
That's what I love about you guys. I mean, that's literally, and I don't know if people realize that, like, you guys go out of your way. If somebody needs help, you guys literally will drop anything and help. And it's not just law enforcement. You guys are so active, and
I feed. If we're set up, you could be the worst person in the world, but if you're hungry, I'm gonna feed you. I don't set myself to just feeding. Yes, of course, first responders are our main gig. I don't know, you may not ate there, but I know a couple of your guys did when they flew the copters in. It doesn't matter to us. Come in, sit down, get you a meal. So
Rodney just nodded over here to somebody that Dan invited in. And I have now initially met, and I'm super duper excited about this joint conversation because like I said at the beginning, the world's kind of collided where Rodney is up there with the FOP, and then I'm gonna let Dan take over from here and sort of get started, and then we'll just carry on the conversation. We'll just keep on trucking, but I'm turning it over.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, Jamie. Today I brought in Preston Hagman from Operation Helo. Preston is a director of communications. I believe it is the correct title for the operation. Preston, why don't we just start, and why don't you just tell us what Operation Helo is, and then we'll get into some of the work that you guys have done and what we're going to continuously be doing.
So Operation Helo was created out of Helene. I've been a pilot for 47 years. All my friends are pilots, helicopter pilots, fixed wing jet mechanics, and we saw the need Saturday after the storm hit. Sunday we went up there and said we need to do something. So we started calling all of our friends, helicopters, fixed wing, everything. We took over Hickory Airport for helicopter operations, Statesville and Concord for fixed wing operations for people to come in. That way we can segregate which ones. And how I got involved is my buddy Matt McSwain called me at 6 o'clock in the morning Monday, and he knew that I've been a radio guy for many years. So I had bought them all radios in the past so we could always communicate. And he called me and said, "We need communications." He said, "What are you doing?" I said, 6 o'clock in the morning, I'm in bed with my wife. He goes, "Well, get all your toys and get up to Hickory by 8 o'clock. And so that's what I did. And we were up there for 11 days. And I handed out about 50 radios to people. We had about 200 to 300 volunteers, and just a lot of supplies coming in.
This was at a time, if I'm not mistaken, when like all communication had sort of been wiped
no
out,
communication.
right?
Yeah.
there was nothing on the mountain.
Yeah. And that's how you kind of got involved, right, Dan?
Well, I did the ham radio side of it, and at this time I knew nothing of.
But you were able to reach families.
Oh yeah, I mean we made thousands of phone calls
Incredible.
and text messages over the first 7-8 days for families. And what it started to be was, if a town had a ham radio operator, they had a line out their door saying, "Hey, can you get a hold of Dan and have Dan contact my family?" What they didn't know was I had built a whole team behind me to make those calls, because there was no way I could keep up with all that.
In kindergarten terms, and in 1 minute, how did your radios work when other communication? How does that work when other communication was down? Why did the ham radios continue working? How does that
Well, ham radio doesn't use infrastructure.
Okay.
We all have our cell phones, but what you don't know is your cell phone is constantly talking to the tower.
Yeah.
Somewhere in your town that you're in. ham radio doesn't work that way. It's a open platform of radiated frequency that can travel hundreds, if not thousands, of miles based upon the frequency you're using. So we were using a large system to do that, and it just worked out great. Well, we will come back with Preston Hagman and myself talking on WSOs or WSIC. Follow us today on 105.9, 100.7, 1400 AM, and also watch for us on Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. And we're back on the WSIC radio with the Scoop. We have Preston Hagman here with me today, along with Rodney James from Lodge 10 FOP of Iredell County, and of course my host of the show, Jaime Gatton. When we left, we were talking to Preston about Operation Helo and about a little bit about ham radio and how it all worked in the very beginning there. But Preston, why don't you talk to us about you got the phone call, get up out of bed, I need you here. So that started as getting you there along with a couple of your other pilots. How did you guys solicit 200 pilots to come up to the mountains and essentially work for free?
We have a lot of friends, and people flew in from Wyoming. People flew in from all over the country, Florida. It was amazing. We thought we were going to have 2 or 3 helicopters. After the first day, we had about 15.
Okay.
Second day, we had about 60. By the end of the week, we had over 200 helicopters. We had 90 in the air at one time. The National Guard saw what our operation is, so they brought 4 Chinook helicopters and 6 UH-60s and gave them to us. We were having supplies dropped in by airplane, by tractor trailer. Hundreds and hundreds of generators. At the end, we ended up delivering over 2 million pounds of supplies, 500 Starlinks, and rescued over 230 people.
Wow. And now when you say rescue, were you just dropping right into these communities and picking people out?
Picking people up. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Interesting. How many, you said 1,000, 2,000 generators?
No, over about 200.
200, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, over 200.
All right. So you got generators to people who didn't want to leave, but you picked up people that needed to leave.
Oh, yeah, yeah. We had one of the Chinooks have 34 people on it that they evacuated a retirement community.
Okay.
And so a lot of people couldn't walk. Some people were still in their medical beds. We just rolled the medical bed on the chopper and then brought them off.
Interesting. Okay. Now, the story how you and I met was kind of funny. So everybody knows in Mooresville, Dario's. I think I'm saying it right. The burger joint down 150 by Perth Road.
You took me there with I think one of the kids.
Well, Dan's a big spender.
Yeah.
He likes to spend time
I
there.
go for that quality food, But my family and I were there after a baseball game, I think it was, and I saw Preston's truck. Now, I had never met Preston.
Really?
I just saw Preston's sticker on the side of the truck that Operation Helo. So I looked it up. What is this? Because he's got a couple of antennas, and I'm like, I'm a radio guy. So I looked it up. I'm like, oh, this kind of seems like a cool organization.
Are you Googling?
I am in the middle in the dairy.
Yeah, he was stalking me. Yeah.
He was stalking.
And so we got done eating, and I'm like, no, guys, let's wait here. I want to meet this guy. The restaurant's full. I have no idea who Preston is, And we sat there for like a half an hour. He must have been enjoying his burger because he never left. And so I said, fine, we'll just leave. So I went home and looked it up again and sent the organization an email. And I don't know, a day or two later, you called me on the telephone and he goes, yeah, I could really use a radio guy. So him and I have kind of struck up this really cool friendship, and they've kind of brought me on, and I'm helping them with communications, and we bounce, ideas off each other multiple times a week. And just recently he said, what do you think about a communications trailer? It sounds like a good idea to me. So he started looking for comms trailers, and he went out and bought a beautiful 17 foot,
20 foot,
20 foot.
8.5 foot wide
comms trailer, and it's empty right now. But we're building it. He's just got quotes from a place in Mooresville. It's going to be putting roof racks for antennas on there for us. We're going to build the communications workstations inside with computers and radios. And we're not just stopping at UHF or VHF. We just picked up an HF radio. We'll have a high frequency to talk across the country and across the world if needed.
Push to talk over cellular.
Yeah, we got the POC radios. It's funny. I always called those radios push to something I used to say. I can't remember. But, it's really shown its value here recently in our testing. We had some that we didn't like, and now we got this new set that Preston purchased, and these things are working great. Preston was just in Arkansas Monday, was it?
Yeah.
And he called me on the radio, and the thing just worked phenomenal. Now, admittedly, these work off the cellular network. So if the cellular network goes down, they're worthless. With that said, these new radios that Preston is getting also work on Wi-Fi. So hooking them up with all the Starlinks that we have, we will now have communication. You can't take down the satellite, but you can take down the cellular
I was going to
network.
say, what all, hypothetically, like what all circumstances would y'all respond to? When would this be needed? Obviously, we know the hurricane.
Preston
stuff.
can go a little bit further into this with the grants that they've received. This is the real deal. They have a full tractor trailer, a KW tractor trailer with a command center. They have a big, is it a Prevo bus? A Prevo bus.
It used to be a tour bus, so it'll sleep about 10 people. It's got racks, so we can actually deploy and probably support 7 to 15 helicopters within 20 hours.
So this is basically like crisis response for anything.
Yeah, we were down in Texas when the storm hit down in Texas, and we had 7 helicopters there rescuing people.
I mean, this is the real deal organization. You hear of, I started this nonprofit and we go help people. These are the real deal. These got backing of large organizations and getting federal grants. So this is awesome.
And when did it get started again? I know you said
the
that
day after Helene hit. We just knew we needed to do something. This was our neighbors, and nobody was doing anything.
And so after Helene, what has there been another crisis that you've?
We went to Texas.
The Texas,
and then ongoing, because we survive on volunteer money. So what we've been doing is not just the helicopter operations, but we've been taking care of and giving back to the community, like you were talking about earlier.
Yes, sir.
And people were living in tents, so we bought over 250 travel trailers and drove them up there one by one. Sometimes we had 30 in a convoy going up there.
And this was just organized the day.
Yeah, organized the day before. I mean, I don't know how we did it.
I don't know how you did it either. That's incredible.
Just think of that for a minute. Buying travel trailers.
Yeah.
I mean, these aren't, $1,000. These are $15,000, $20,000. They're spending donation money to outfit people so they can get out of a tent. Preston and I, we were just in the mountains last week, and one of the cool things we got to do is Operation Helo rebuilt this elderly lady's home. I don't want to say elderly. I don't know. Was she in her 60s, maybe 70s?
70s.
Okay.
I'm in my 60s, so listen.
I'm feeling elderly right now. I'm not quite.
So
50,
I mean,
but
it was really touching to literally walk into this lady's house.
This is the first time she'd seen the house too.
Yeah.
Completed.
She's living in a trailer that Operation Helo provided
Okay.
her. Her house was destroyed in the storm. The water was 5-6 feet in the house. And when I say 5-6 feet, the creek is across the street from her house.
And about 70 feet down.
70 feet down. And it rose that much and destroyed her home.
where was this at again?
This was in Burnsville.
Burnsville.
Yep. And you got to get the "vull" in there, Jamie. You're Southern. It's not "ville," okay?
Yeah, it is Ville.
Can I?
Come on. I have adopted the "vull."
You're from New York.
Of everything now.
Listen,
You're not Southern.
Let me let me end this segment on this right here. I went to college and ended up, for whatever reason, with an English degree, but I had to take a communications class to get my degree. And my professor told me, you go around talking like you talk, and ain't nobody going to take you seriously.
But he said the word "ain't," which isn't even a word.
Well, I'm paraphrasing.
She ad-libbed that part.
I'm paraphrasing. But my point is, then I sat there for the rest of my college education and tried to change. And a lot of people have noticed it. So yeah, Burnsville.
So when I came
Burnsville?
down,
Is that what you
I remember saying Cherryville for the first time, and the person I was talking to yelled at me. It's not Cherryville, it's Cherville.
Sure.
Terrible.
So I've adopted the Vull, and now I get yelled
But
at by the true Southerners here.
That's different. I mean, you've got Lancaster, and then you've got Lancaster, and you've got like all over
It's
the.
funny
Who
because
freaking knows?
he brought up Concord just a few minutes ago in the last segment. He said Concord.
Concord.
I'm like, no, it's Concord.
It's
You
Concord.
know?
I had an office in Boston, and there's a Concord, Boston.
Yeah,
and
that's the
it's
thing.
Concord.
Yeah.
No, it's Concord.
That's what we're gonna call it. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna end up this segment. We'll come back with everybody here at the round table, and we'll be back here on WSIC. And we're back on WSIC with the Scoop on 105.9, 100.7, and 1400 AM. We've been talking with Preston Hagman regarding Operation Helo. Preston, why don't we talk about what we got coming up now? We were just up in the mountains. We did a little PR up there, and we released a house to a lady that Operation Helo rebuilt. But why don't you talk about a little bit of what we found out when we were up there and what we're going to be going back to?
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clearing out cars and RVs that were stuck in the river, and nobody's clearing them out. So we've rented a UH-60, a private UH-60, and we're going to spend 2 days operation airlifting the basically the rivers that are clogged. We're going to be moving the RVs out. Nobody else is doing it, so we've got to do it.
And you know, yours and mine main mission up there is going to be communications.
Right, ground crew to air crew.
Right.
And so that way we can have on the ground, see what we need to do, and they can talk to the helicopters directly.
Well, I think that'll be pretty cool to maybe start using some of the new tools that we have as well, and some of the new airband radios that we've acquired here lately.
Absolutely.
So it's still, forgive my naivety here, but it's. I mean, there's still a lot of work.
Oh yeah.
You know what the news,
Wow.
the local media doesn't cover is they'll go to Swannanoa, they'll go to Asheville,
Yeah.
they might go to Burnsville,
Burnsville.
or Pensacola, and they'll go to the firehouse or they'll go to the local church. But what they're not doing is going into the back roads,
The trenches.
and where these creeks, or rivers, whatever you want to call them, were at the flood stages and over. They're not covering the house that got ripped up. I mean, when
we went to a number of houses that are still just devastated. I mean, you can see cans and stuff
when
still
we
in
were
the
up
pantry.
there last week,
Unbelievable.
one of our main people who, is a paid member of the organization, he brought us around Burnsville, and it is still devastation. We stopped at one house that was just wiped off the map, really, and it's just hanging there. And I was able to crawl up in there, and the pantry door is open. The saltine crackers and the green beans
That's what you were
Yeah.
just saying.
are still on the shelf, untouched from the day the storm hit. And the bed is falling out of the floor. It brings a human side
Very
of the
much.
storm to you.
And honestly, not to get into a press bashing segment here, but I was really floored at how little this was in the news. What you're talking about.
The news really concentrated on Swannanoa and Asheville.
Which deserved
But those were the
attention.
big metropolitan areas where all the national folks were headed to help. What was really neat about Operation Helo is they didn't look for the limelight.
You went.
They went to
into
these really poor counties, Yancey County, Avery County. These are Mitchell County. These are poor, small counties. They don't have a lot of, income coming into those counties. And Operation Helo, along with a few others. I mean, Samaritan's Purse was up there. Some of the, there was another group, and Savage something. I can't remember the second part of that organization. But these organizations focused not on Asheville, not on Swannanoa, but
because they were getting
all the attention they needed.
help.
So it was just really cool, and it's really cool to be part of this organization now. And they've been really cool to work with. I met the president, I guess his name was Sean.
Eric.
Eric, I'm sorry.
Eric Robbins.
I met him the other day, and real cool guy came up and talked to me, shook my hand, and welcome to the team, and thanks for the help, and just a cool organization.
Maybe I shouldn't ask this, but I'm going to ask this. Did y'all get blowback from FEMA also?
Oh, don't even get me started on FEMA.
Okay, so we feel the same?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, like I said, I'm not going to bash anybody, but if there's a bashing to be had.
I was wondering. So, I mean, that was the talk, and y'all don't have to bash, but that was the kind of the scuttlebutt. But you guys were boots on the ground, and I think that you just said everything that needed to be said.
We would land, and they would come up and tell us, you can't land here, and you can't drop supplies.
Why?
Because they wanted to do it,
Mhm.
but they weren't doing it. So we had gone in the morning and dropped off 2 loads of supplies. And then the third time we come in, they say, we don't want your supplies here. You got to go. I said, we're private individuals. We can do whatever we want. This is public land. So we did it anyway.
They tried sort of the same thing with us. All of our stuff was volunteer based. We didn't take no monies from any grants, federal people, nothing. They come in and wanted counts of everything that we had on the ground, and it didn't go over too good for them.
It sounds like micromanaging.
Oh, yeah.
Well, this was, I don't want to bash anybody, but
Oh, let's bash them.
this,
Let's just
I mean,
do
just,
it.
just my small part that I was doing in those very early days of running the emergency net on ham radio. The second day I was running it, we got notified and said, you must stop in any logs you have
Wait a minute. You must stop what?
running the emergency net that we were doing on the Mount Mitchell repeater. And any logs that I had, they wanted.
What the heck?
Yeah.
We were told to stop. And so at that point, I was working at the EOC on that particular day. And the people that, higher than me came in and said, Dan, it's your call. What are you going to do? Because it was my net. And I said, no, I'm not providing anything, and I'm not stopping. And my exact word was, make me.
We had
It is what it is.
We had a similar circumstance when Biden was going to fly into Asheville.
Oh,
They
I remember
They
that.
put up a TFR around the whole area, which included Hickory.
Explain to the people, what's a TFR?
The temporary flight restrictions. So that was no airplanes are going to be flying because the president is in there. We had a pilot briefing every morning before we started, pilot briefing and prayer before we started the missions. And this room was just packed with pilots. And our leader at the time, Matt McSwain, got up and said, I don't know about you guys, but tomorrow's going to be the TFR. He had some expletives. He says, I don't give a darn. We are going to go flying. Says, but you're all private individuals. You can go flying
Do
if
what
you
you
want.
want.
Do what you want. Unanimously, everybody said, shoot us down.
So you guys were.
We flew. So we actually
Wow.
had Tom Tillis and Ted Budd come and work with the FAA.
Okay.
And at the last minute, the FAA gave us 20 squawk codes for the transponder that if we displayed those, they knew we were part of an organization. So, and that was literally about 20 minutes before we took off for the mission.
Wow.
I do remember some blowback, I think, about that and people freaking out. The bowels of social media.
Here we go.
Listen,
Every show.
every single
Haven't missed one
show.
yet.
I have not missed
They
one
shut
yet.
us down also too when the director of FEMA flew in with Al Conklin. I guess that's his name. I don't know. They would shut everything down around us
That
for
is-
them to get a photo op.
Yeah.
That's what the blowback was. I mean, and a lot of people were chatting about this. That was the scuttlebutt, where it's like, why we're halting help.
It wasn't
To people-
Scuttlebug. It was the truth.
It was the
Yeah.
truth.
Mhm.
Halting help to people in need for
Photo ops.
Yeah,
follow-ups.
that's all it was. It was publicity for them. It wasn't helping thy neighbor. It was what can make me look good. Because they were on the ground. I know when she flew in, she was on the ground maybe 5 minutes. And then back to her helicopter she went, and she was gone. With the 2 others trailing her.
Yep.
So, you were talking about the the lady that you guys helped, what was her response? What
Oh,
was,
she was in tears.
I,
mean-
I was going to say, I can't imagine.
You
I
know,
mean, you see the devastation, but you also, if you're,
She was in tears, very thankful, especially coming up on winter. She was very excited. She expressed to have a good Thanksgiving this year
aw.
and have grandkids over for Christmas. So I mean, you
Rodney,
can't do that in a
Get your trailer up there and cook.
But you understand too, some of those people on the mountain didn't want to leave.
No.
I mean,
That's their home.
that they moved there to get away from everybody.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
We had a guy from California come in that was searching, and he was like, "Man, we run into some bad stuff today." And I was like, "What?" And he's like, "We got some guy up there, and he drew a gun and said he wasn't leaving."
That's
I said,
well, yeah.
"Then you need to leave those folks
Leave 'em
alone.
alone.
They're there for a reason. They don't want to be messed with."
Is there anything that you guys, because y'all are more embedded in this than I am, are there still needs?
Oh, absolutely.
And what are those needs?
Well, when we were there, I met a guy. I'd never seen him before, but Operation Helo, and I can safely say this now because they were telling him this past week. His house is on the other side of the river, and they had a bridge, and it was just a regular bridge that you drive over so he can get to his house. And this man is in his 70s, maybe 80s, and the bridge washed away. Well, Operation Helo was able to put down 2 I-beams across this. And I showed you pictures.
Yep, you did.
So he can shuffle his feet across these 2 I-beams. But as soon as it rains, the water comes up and over. So he can't leave. So Operation Helo was just able to get the funding to build a walking bridge. And we're still looking for funding to build a driving bridge for him. And unfortunately, I think it's $800,000 for a driving bridge. That's a lot of concrete work when it comes to that type of stuff,
And FEMA says that he's on the list. He's first on the list to get a bridge, but it's going to take 5 to 8 years. He's not going to be around in 5 to 8 years.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have to shut our show down. I could sit here for another hour and talk. But we've had a great discussion, and I want to say thank you to both of you. I think worlds collided today, and these two are actually going to probably become good friends and be able to network with each other. That was sort of accidental, but sometimes life works out that way. So this has been The Scoop on WSIC, and we will plan to come back and talk to you next week.